real life video for anybody who is considering moving abroad and you're trying to figure out how do people do it. You know, you're thinking, I can't afford this. Like, the way I vacation, ain't no way I can afford that every day. Well, you wouldn't literally live like you're vacationing. Hopefully. Some of us have done that and learned lessons, and we are here to show you how not to run through everything you have and actually benefit. There's a huge cry out here. I'm going to show you guys something really quick. The cost for massages here. Yeah, so you could, for the cost of cheaper than a McDonald's or Burger King meal, get a full massage, $12. And that's an increase on price. It was $350 just a year ago. So yeah, it's increasing little by little, and yes, there are places that are as expensive as being in the West. New development happening. And let me flip the screen, let you guys see. That used to be like a hotel condo thingy with a swimming pool right up front, if I'm not mistaken. My normal laundry service is here. They now rent out bikes, which you don't even have to have like a license for. Hello. It's black people. We see black people. But yeah, so there's a huge, kind of message going around to start preparing. You guys know me. They turned this place into a place where you can get some food called the Syrian Chill House. They're building over there. That was something else. They've cleared it out. So lots of development here. But you guys, I've been trying to do the call of the wild to say start preparing. And I will say over and over again, if you don't have your passport by now, you should have it. Because there's no reason you should not have it. Hey there. So, there's no reason you should not have it. It's $130 for us USers. $130. Some people are like, I ain't got that kind of money. You see what's going on in the world right now? And I mean the world. I'm in a place where the connection is a little bit further. So the impact is there's impact, but to feel it physically is not the same here. People don't treat us a certain way. The only people that treat you kind of funky in places like this would be other Westerners, right? So we don't really deal with that with people with locals. But first thing I can tell you guys, if I were to advise you, is to get your passport. If you already have your passport and you're working every day and you're trying to figure out your path, sign for a one-on-one clarity call with me. Let's see if you fit. First 30 minutes chatting about what it is you want to do and if you have the mindset to do it. One thing I don't do is force. I don't beg. I don't try to convince. This is my life this week. I may be moving to a different location. This is where I normally stay. So I have my preferences. The way I live right now is still exploring. And I have places that I like, that I tend to go back to. Every time I go to a place that's not somewhere new. I have not hit all 193 countries because I'm re-frequenting some of the same places. It's kind of like living in the States and, going to the same cities, visiting the same cities. It's the same thing. I'm just hopping across borders, right? So I'm gonna sit outside for a minute. I want to go upstairs, but the elevator may cut out the video. So hey you guys. You obviously care. How you gonna get on my live and say don't nobody care, but you on my live? Deuces. Um so yeah, I have been out here for about 5 years. For 5 years, actually over 5 years. And I've explored a number of countries. Probably in the last 5 years, I've probably hit 30 something of the 50 that I've been to, if not more. Um, so I've been moving around, moving and shaking. So I have hands on direct experience with this lifestyle. I have experience with doing tours with groups and traveling, you know, on that level where everything is prepared for you and everything is done. But the reality is, if you are relocating and you are starting a new life somewhere else, you need a different set of rules. You're going to need a different set of criteria to kind of use as your checklist every day, because it is different. It's like, and a lot of times I tell people, take your everyday life and just set yourself down in a new place. But a lot of times that's really hard for people to fathom, to understand, comprehend, until you get out here. So you'll see I'm just walking around. I've got some goodies. Actually, my lunch dinner will be 7-Eleven driven today. We have a restaurant upstairs, which is really inexpensive. There's a cool restaurant right down the street that I have frequented before when I was here a couple months ago. But I don't always like to eat out. Sometimes I just like to have things in my refrigerator. I actually have a full apartment here, $20 a night. So this is a place that you could stay. I wouldn't say like the place that I'm in is, real long term, because I have the smallest apartment, but this building itself has 2 bedroom, I think maybe even 3 bedrooms, but I know for sure 2 bedrooms. I'm in a 27-meter square apartment, so it's actually pretty small. There are 1 bedrooms, like I said, 2 bedrooms, and so on and so forth. And there's tons of things in this area, but this is great, and for the price point, and it's one of my favorite locations. This is great, and one of the reasons I'm kind of sharing that is because there's a lifestyle that is um, similar to what you would have if you're traveling on a regular basis to foreign countries. And then there's also the lifestyle that you're going to have if you are relocating. And there are things that we are required to do in the States. Certain things that we think about all the time, like driver's licenses for each country, um, credit scores, credit, buying on credit, renting on credit, things of that nature. And I'll talk about those things really quick. So, for example, driver's licenses. Ideally, you should have an international license. So you can go to AAA and like a AAA office and get your license, especially if you're a AAA member. Or you can go to like your DMV, just reach out to like your local offices and see who provides a international license. It's good for 1 year, and you can get it in the state. You can also get it abroad, and I'm considering getting mine here. However, I have also rented. Where's your kitty cat? Oh, looks pregnant. She looks pregnant. I also have driven here, not in a car, but on a moped, rented for a month on an island and did not, I wasn't actually required to show anything. I think they wanted my passport. They got my passport, and that was good enough. And I paid like $80 for the entire month for a moped service every other week. Actually, he would do it weekly, but I did it every other week. For them to just check and make sure everything was good, oil was good, it was running well, and all that kind of stuff, and that was just included, right? But ideally, if you're going to get something, you're going to have it long term, go ahead and get a license, especially if you're in really busy touristy areas, because there are targets, and it's just better to have all your ducks in a row and have all the required, or not required, but suggested identification that you need to confirm that you're not in violation. That way you don't have to worry about if they pull you over, wear your helmet, different things like that. So there's different rules depending on where you are, because each country is different. So I'm kind of some of my commentary is specific to Thailand. Okay, so you can ask me questions about different countries or different regions, because I've been to a number of them in multiple places. The only places I've never been is Antarctica and Australia. Like that area in Australia, it would have to be New Zealand, because I don't know if I can handle Australia, y'all. Um, I have bug phobia, big bug phobia. Anyway, so that's one thing about the license. So you can get it in the country. It's probably the easiest way, or get it outside of the country. Again, it's only valid for 1 year. So if you're going to be gone long term, you're going to need a new license. There's everybody asks about long term visas. There are some countries that you can go to, and I actually think I may have a video. If not, I will do a short video and tell you the countries that you can go to visa free for 90 days or more. Now, 90 days doesn't sound like a lot, because really it isn't. When you're living this life, 3 months goes by like super fast, right? But what you want to do is you want to be in a place that if it is 90 days, if it is 3 months, that it's easy to renew, right? Or get extend, I should say. So I'm going to give you one place right out of the gate that I have been to. I've been to every year since 2023, which doesn't seem like a long time, but I've been in and out of Albania. It's a Balkan country, Europe. We just call it Europe. It's next to Montenegro, like south of Serbia, Croatia, um, Bosnia, and Greece. Bosnia. Maybe it might be on the other side, like something else, like um, is it Macedonia? There's another country in there, and then Greece, and it's easy to get to Greece. You can get to Greece on a ferry. You can get to Italy on a ferry, or a $9 flight, which equates to 20 when you pay your taxes and stuff. Okay, so I'm just throwing out a few things. So Albania is one. You get a year visa. U.S. citizen passport holders get a year visa free. Walk in, no stamp. So I do have some videos talking about that. Check my playlist for Albania, and I share information about that. You get no stamp because it's all electronic. So you do need to keep track of it, especially if you're going in and out, because it does not count against your 90 days in the EU, because it's not part of the European Union. But you need to know, if you're going in and out, how much time you've spent. um, because you may not get a stamp, depending on where you're going to and where you're coming from. Okay? But that's 1 year, 365 days. You could literally go get if you're single by yourself on the coast, you can literally get an apartment in like Duras or something like that for $400, $450, $500 a month for a year. You want something a little inland, maybe a little bit bigger, you may pay 600 for a little bit bigger place, but you could just go and check it out. I have some resources that I still use when I go there, but you can always start off with Airbnb. And I also have a video to show you all the places that I have booked Airbnb, different countries that I've booked Airbnb and loved it. Like Thailand is one place that I use two resources to book my uh, accommodations. So please reach out to me. Like, all of that information is information that I share depending on your clarity call and what works for you. Because I think I'm gonna try. I was gonna try to go upstairs because these flies is coming at me. Oh, I got some bug spray. Okay, so then let me just go on to the next thing. Credit scores. It's not a thing anywhere else in the world. Credit scores don't exist. Um, I would say one of the places, the closest place to using something like that in the form of a credit, applying for credit or understanding credit, is South Africa. Like if you're buying a home, South Africa is probably the closest to the States. But you can also buy a home with 50% down, like meaning that you use your cash and or use your say like you apply for a loan or something that you get somewhere else, you can use that and then you can finance 50% within the country. So they don't necessarily look at a score, whereas they look at employment. They look to see, confirm that you can cover the cost for the duration, or you assume. Because if you guys think about it, um, hey, hey, if you guys think about it, even in the U.S., when you buy a house on lease for 30 years, there's no guarantee you're going to have your job for 30 years. So they're just, it's time and place, right? So I want you to think about that. So no one else uses credit scores. So like, let's say I came here, I stayed here like almost 3 months. The first time I stayed at this apartment, condo, and it's a service condo. They will come and clean every day, change your sheets, wash your sheets, change your towels, give you water and coffee every day. Even if you're long term, everything is included. Your cable, your electricity, water is all included. I'm paying $20 a night. That's not even paying at the front desk. That's paying through an app called Agoda. Okay. The last time I did it and I paid directly at the front desk, it was $15 a night for the same exact kind of apartment that I'm in right now. Right. But I could rent long term if I wanted to. If I wanted to say, I want to do 3 months, 6 months here, because now I'm on a 5 year DTV, digital nomad visa, so I can stay. I can actually, I mean, I could do it before. They don't care if you have a visa or not. They don't look at any of that in Thailand to see if you're legally allowed to stay. If you sign a year lease, you sign a year lease. You're going to pay for it. Because a lot of people get these places and they're inexpensive and they get them and they keep them and they just have a place that they can go back and forth to. But they're not running a credit score. They're not running a credit report because they're not tied to the U.S. They're not tied to banking in the U.S. They have an agreement with you. They expect you to abide by the agreement that you sign. It's kind of like the way that they drive. It looks like chaos, but it's not. It's not chaos. It's chaos. It's organized chaos. And so they don't look for those types of things because, again, they mean nothing in the long run. Because can you pay now? Are you agreeing by in good faith? We're supposed to be a place that is all about faith, but we have to have all of these provisions. We've created this mentality that we're not honest unless we force some sort of all these rules and regulations, whereas other countries, even in their driving, there's set rules in terms of when there's lights present, street lights and things like that, but they drive off of basic courtesy, and that's even in Europe. In some places not so much. So try to start getting through your working through your mental. That is the biggest change that people have to, I think that's the biggest breakthrough, is realizing that you're not in Kansas. The rest of the world functions and functions really well. That's why when people say, "Oh, you need Western to come over and help you change and innovate and be," no, the rest of the world doesn't need that. The U.S. needs that. The U.S. is probably one of the richest countries with the least advanced infrastructure that I have ever seen in my entire life. And I've been to places that we call third world, but now that I've been to these places, first of all, I don't use that terminology except when I refer to the United States, because how can you be so wealthy? We have 902 billionaires in the United States, and we have some of the worst infrastructure in the world. We should look 20 times better across our 50 states than how do I say it? Chong, China, the real big city in China that started with a C. I can never get it right. But there's no reason. There's no reason we shouldn't have cross country speed trains. They have them in Italy. They've had these trains in Italy for decades. Yeah, China has the fastest fast train, but Italy, you can get from Milan to Rome in a couple of hours. I did it before. This is way back in 2014 on a whim. In the morning, it was like, oh, you know what? I got a couple more days here. I literally had 2 more days. I was like, oh, I want to go to Rome. I'm going to go to Rome. I went to Rome on a fast train. Right? Didn't have to get on a flight. I could have got on a flight, but I wanted to do the train, so I did the train. There's no reason we shouldn't have that. There's no reason that I can go to Ecuador and jump on a bus for $4 and go from the top of the coast of the city, from Manta all the way to Barranquilla or San Pedro or any of those places along the way. And it's $4, $9 at the most. And we don't have anything like that. Greyhound is like the only major bus system that I don't even know Greyhound still runs, you guys. There is no reason that we shouldn't have that. And part of the reason we don't is because we're heavy on automobiles, which you'll see in every part of the world. There's tons of people that drive in all of these countries. They have those things and they have transportation. They don't call it public transportation. It's just called transportation because it is for the people. It is not about trying to make you think that it is something that is, you're considered on the low end. It's like when you see someone riding a bike in the US, to work, you think that they're poor. Anywhere else in the world, that's actually one of the smart things. Oh my God, you can ride a bike? Wow, you're like levels ahead. So peace and prosperity presents itself so differently when you start to travel. So what I call peace and prosperity isn't a 6-figure job, a 8-figure job, a big house that probably don't get to enjoy, or I'm paying so much for, I'm afraid that they're going to take from me even after I pay all this money on it. All of these different things, or I can't sell it, I can't get the value because of this and that. All these erroneous things. And that's what people ask. They're like, yeah, but you're getting less technically if you look at square footage, if you look at this and that. But peace of mind. I literally walk to the grocery store. Who walks to the grocery store to get food in the U.S.? Who does that? Unless you live in like New York. You go to the bodega. Who does that? Who walks around? I walk to a coffee shop to work. Who does that? Whether I do it every day or not. Who just like grabs a grab and goes to an area without a tour and explores in the States? I mean, we kind of do it, but we don't. Our level of exploration is Six Flags. No more Disney. We're boycotting. Cut your subscriptions. Cruises. Disney cruises always, they was trying to rob you anyway. And it's not Disney, any affiliate. I'm just gonna throw that in there. You're gonna hear little political things that I'm gonna throw out. Okay, so credit score is not a thing around the world, and this is not just a Thailand thing. Literally, you can do the same thing anywhere else. Now, some places when you book for a year, like Albania, even though we get a year visa, they do want to see like if you're applying for like residency, they want to see that you have at least a 1 year apartment rental agreement. So they do tie those things together, but you can go for a year. I've gone and I've stayed in and out for 3 or 4 months here and there, popped in, popped out, got my things, bounced, and left my things at a friend's for 7 or 8 months and went back and got my things. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so you have those things, the driver's license, the visa, different things, the credit score, credit reporting. Those things just really don't exist. And paying with credit is the other thing. You'll hear a lot of people talk about, oh, my family house or my childhood home, I'm going back because it's still there and it still belongs to them, and their great 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 grandfather bought this house 500 years ago and it's still in the family. You're wondering, how is that possible? Because in most places in the world, most places, it's you purchase property and it's forever. For us, if we're purchasing externally in a country where we're getting residency and things like that, a lot of times they have 99-year lease agreements. So it's 99 years, and then you pass it on to the next person. You pass it on to someone else in your family. Whereas in the U.S., you could buy a house, spend all your money, and still lose it. You could lose it from not paying taxes every year. Do you know in most countries, most civilized countries, which is everywhere outside of the US, you buy a house, you pay your taxes one time typically. You may pay a little something every year, but it is minuscule to sometimes the 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 dollars that we pay on something that we're supposed to own, something that we're purchasing, something that we're buying. And there's no guarantee for us to keep it. Go to China, they do it one time. Same thing with cars. Ireland, I was in Ireland last year, and our tour guide was talking about this process to, get a car and pay the insurance and stuff like that. Now, their insurance or whatever is so expensive, $150,000, like in some cases. I swear that's what he said. So a lot of people don't have cars. They use public transport, what we call public transportation. They use transportation, trams and trains and buses, which you're good. You jump on a flight, it's easy. They got Grab or Uber, whichever one they have, and it's easy to move around. You're in Europe, you can jump on a flight cheaper. I can jump on a flight to a different country in Europe cheaper than catching an Uber from an airport to my house in the States. I could jump on a ferry that takes me across water to a whole nother country cheaper than jumping on a flight or getting an Uber in the States. So just trying to put this stuff in perspective for you guys. And it's not to say that something is better somewhere else or anything like that. It's simply to say that everything that you've been told may not be entirely accurate. And there's a whole world out here that we as a whole from the US just don't know and don't understand. Imagine this. Typically, people in Europe, that's probably the closest um, in terms of like proximity, in terms of design and things, to the US is Europe. And the reason I say that is because Europe is made up of a whole bunch of countries, but all of their countries speak a different language for the most part. Like, that's so wild, right? But they cross borders without limitations, without real borders, like we cross states. So that's why I use Europe as an example, because of the proximity. But it's cheaper to move around their states via bus, train, plane than it is to move around the US states, which are not different countries speaking the same language under the same government. Hopefully we are doing soft secessions, my political plug-in, very soon. I've been praying for this for years. All states need to secede. We need to have 50 countries. We need to be a union if you want to be a part of the union. And if you aren't, you run your own government. You run your own. So many of the states anyway pay so much into the government and don't get all that they pay in anyway. So secede. So start paying attention to soft secession coming, hopefully happening in the next 5 years. Anyway, so when you realize that other countries have been living like this type of lifestyle for the longest, that they've been traveling since they were kids, because it's so natural to go from Germany to um, Slovakia, am I saying it right, Slovenia, Lithuania, to pop over to um, Hungary, or Serbia, which I was just in, um, both Germany, or all of them, Croatia. I haven't been to Montenegro yet, but Albania. It's so easy to move around to a lot of these places, and they've been doing that forever, and they speak different languages, right? English is a universal language around the world. Um, Most people want to learn American English. That's what I've been told. um, So we have some one-ups there. But what good is our one-ups if we don't ever leave our borders? If we only leave our borders for tourism, and we frequent the same places over and over and over again, right? And the only reason I'm saying um, kind of take that branch, whatever branch it is, and reach it, extend it a little bit further than what your comfort zone is telling you. It should be what someone else, did. Well, this is what they did, so I'm going to do the same thing. If you have this aching and yearning in your spirit to do something different, do it. And if you need the encouragement and you want to see like how can you do it, sign up for a one-on-one clarity call with me. Check it in my description. It is in there. Sign up for a one-on-one clarity call. It is something. It $40 is worth your its weight. It's only $40. I'm sure we spend $40 in the U.S. on 2 meals from McDonald's, 2 meals from Burger King, and if you're not going to those two, a movie ticket for 2 people, or 1 person plus popcorn, right? So these are some of the things, you guys, that I like to share with you all, because I think we have such a false sense of reality. Globally, we think that our lifestyle, our way of life, is the global norm, and it is not. It's not. So anyway, it's my little spiel. Hold on, just flip it to y'all. Development land, undeveloped land, ocean is like, I can get to the ocean. Where I came from when I started talking to you guys, I was like across the street from the ocean, which I was at yesterday. And it's so easy. I just go if I want to go. Don't go if I don't want to go. you know. So appreciate you guys. I'm gonna get out of here, go up and have a little lunch, but I'm hoping that this message reaches anybody who's interested in doing something different, starting something different, considering living a different life. You're sitting and you might be in turmoil, you're afraid, you don't know what to do. I'm here. I'm here for you. And my perspective is going to be from the perspective of an everyday normal person living this life. And not from I'm a baller, a shot caller. But traveling in general makes me appear like a baller, because that's a status in and of itself, just to be able to be out here and have this mindset to live it. Because this is my life. It's my life. Never, never. That Bon Jovi. So yeah, if this reaches you, if you're feeling energized, you're like, oh my God, okay, maybe I can do this. Okay, there is a normal person that's out here in this world doing it. Sign up for a one-on-one with me. Let's see where you are, where your mindset is, because I'm going to tell you one thing. Some of the basic things that you need to do besides having some money together is it's all mental. So start to figure out where you want to go and why you want to go there. Okay, you got a little tenacity about you, you can do anything. Don't let anybody tell you what you cannot do. You can do it if you choose to want to do. I say all the time, people do what they want to do. We do what we want to do. The things that we are like, I can put that on the back burner, are the things that we put on the back burner. But there are some times when those back burners burn out. Don't get caught in the burnout. All right, y'all, let me get out of here. Y'all know the drill. Toodles and noodles. Peace and hair grease.